We're halfway there. That's right. We're now into our loser bracket finals. Na'Vi versus EG for the WePlay.tv Dota 2 League. By the time today's done, around $10,000 in cash prizes plus about another $10,000 in gear prizes will be handed out. One of the players who secured some of those prizes is Bulba, my co-caster for this series. He's joining me from Team Liquid. Just ended their run in 4th place. They came up against a very staunch opponent in Na'Vi. And Bulba, now you're going to join me to cast Na'Vi versus EG. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Those games were definitely some weird shit, to say the least.
You guys gave me like 20 heart attacks, both teams. It was kind of insane.
Yeah, it was pretty fun game 2, even though we lost. But their lineup, we messed up in this one push mid, where we gave them like we all died, and we tried to break their base, and it was breaking base versus Batrider is like the hardest shit.
Especially Funix Batrider, who had a Eul Scepter, a Force Staff, Boots of Travel, and a Blink Dagger, and I think even a Ghost Scepter as well. It's like good luck actually killing him.
Yeah, in retrospect, we made a mistake where we didn't wait for a Sheep Stick instead of pushing. So we needed the Sheep Stick, even though we had Abyssal. Abyssal is like, you have to get in range for the Batrider. So we needed a Sheep Stick, because he was like kiting us around and stuff.
Well, speaking of sheep sticks, EG don't have anyone to build one yet. They'll get one now in the Darks here, but in this series, of course, it's a best of 3. It's your loser bracket finals. So the loser will finish as 3rd place. They'll take home a decent chunk of prize money, but the bulk is allotted for 1st and 2nd. So making it to the grand finals is going to be an important objective for both teams. We've had a lot of delays. We've had some issues getting the games played, but everything, knocking on wood, seems to be good to go. It's a best of 3, game 1 now underway. As far as the draft goes, it was Na'Vi who started with first pick. They grabbed the Funix Batrider, followed up by the Templar Assassin for Dendi, the Rubik for Kuroky, who seems to play nothing but this hero as of late. As for EG, they'll go for a Lifestealer, which Bambo played in the off lane earlier. That was for the Alliance. Bulldog played it in the off lane, but often Sunny Bambo does play the Nyx Assassin, probably for Fear, possibly for B-Diz. And the last but not least, the Darkseer, which I imagine will be Bambo's hero. So Bulba, what do you think about the draft so far?
Well, I guess EG didn't watch our game, because they gave Funix Batrider again.
Yeah, scary.
Wait, they were in a match, right? I think during that game?
They were playing Rox Kiss, or Rox Kaspersky, rather, for Curse Invitational. So yeah, I believe they weren't actually watching.
So this is basically the exact same picks that Na'Vi did versus us. If we had Nake's Clock SD... No, wait. Yeah, we had Nake's Clockwork Shadow Darkseer, and then they had Batrider TA Rubik. So it's the same exact picks, and then I guess EG did ban the Ursa, so they might have seen it.
Walk me through, what do you want to do when you see these picks for Na'Vi? When I look at them, I see a lineup that's great if I need pickoffs, and a lineup that's very hard to kill. So how do you deal with these heroes from the laning stage to later on in the game? What should EG's strategy be?
TA is a really good hero versus the Nakes, just because the Magnus Armor, and then late game, like you can just man fight the TA back. Refraction will dodge a lot of the feast hits, which doesn't matter. Wait, well, let me enable my open mic.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Yeah, this of course isn't Dota TV, so I do apologize for anyone who wasn't hearing Bulba, but he is fixing that now. Last minute caster swap, as gods apparently need sleep once every 2 days or so, and Sam here, Bulba here, has graciously agreed to join. So once again, thanks for joining me, but hopefully your mic is sorted out now. Na'Vi's going to ban out the Shadow Demon and the Leshrac, so seeing that EG doesn't really have that strong lane controlling support, they only have the Nyx, which it can be a decent support later on, but isn't going to keep anyone out of the lane early by himself, so banning those combo heroes for him.
Yeah, and the Bane also is really good versus the Nyx, although I don't think Na'Vi, they have enough to take care of the Nyx right now. They could still take the Bane, but Batrider and Rubik and Templar are all really good versus what EG have right now. Because Rubik is a really good hero versus Nyx, obviously if you steal the Impale. And Telekinesis is one of the ways where you can kill the Nyx before he gets the Carapace off. Like, you can burst him down. And Rubik has good synergy with Batrider, because when Batrider drags a hero, as soon as the lasso ends, you can lift him up. So there's always, like, you can kill the Nyx with just the Batrider and the Rubik, because they're both disables that can stop the Nyx from casting Rage before it ends.
Yeah,
so I think...
And even on the top of that, Rubik can help keep Darkseer out of lane if he's got a follow-up stun. So in every respect, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Navi's really confident in going late game versus what EG has right now,
10
and
seconds
they obviously they
remaining.
can apply pressure, but the way that Navi's lineup worked, like it did
5
versus our game,
seconds
even
remaining.
though they could have a pretty bad early game, the way like EG, it's really hard for EG to break
Reserve
Navi's
time.
base with what they have, and it was the same situation for us, because Rubik is really good at obviously burst pushes, it reduces the damage, Fade Bolt's a good spell, and the Templar can just be side blading, and then the Bat Raider is obviously one of the hardest heroes to push versus. So Navi is confident, and they're probably gonna pick some hard carry for Havost. They're not gonna go for the Alchemist, I don't think. They're probably gonna go for something that can deal more with the Nake's early aggression and transition later on. So it's hard to say right now what he's gonna take.
I guess there's a Faceless Void, which is decent against Lifestealer, but not something Navi's picked much as of late. I feel like it could be the Alchemist. The Midas Armor has great synergy with TA.
Navi's turn to
And obviously those two, the Rubik, the Alchemist, can keep Darkseer out of lane. So, I mean, if they wanted to go for it, it could be a viable option. They'll go for the Puppy Chen. It feels identical to their draft versus you. And, well, it worked for them then. Can it work now? We saw in that game one of the interesting little, I guess you could call it quirks to their draft. Or not quirks, but differences between how Na'Vi plays this kind of draft and how other teams do is the Rubik and Chen invested a lot more time in creating pressure and space on the lanes early, whereas a team like Orange might pick this draft, and Extinct will just stack camps and farm really fast. Same
10
for Net on the
seconds
Rubik, will just do a lot of stacking and pulling, but it seemed for Na'Vi, like they do some of that, but they're a lot
5
more focused on
seconds
making sure that the TA can snowball or at least have a good start for Dandy, and that Funnick gets something out of his lane too.
reserve.
Well, one of their Navi's one of their major game plans also is to give Dendi space, because they rely a lot on him in the game. So this is obviously you can do this through the Rubik and Chen ganks, and Navi actually take EG actually taking the Veno. One of the reasons Navi took Veno is in our game was they were scared that we might take the Veno.
Yeah,
well?
it's a block pick, basically.
Yeah, but I guess they're just. I mean, it's whatever. Honestly, in a lot of situations, Veno is good versus TA, but later on, I'd still prefer something like Shadow Demon versus the TA or Disable.
Yeah,
Well,
and you know,
versus the TA.
well, the Twin-Headed Dragon seemed to work pretty well,
10
and
seconds remaining.
for you guys until that one fight where X-Mike got picked off. But Ice Path also gives you a
5
stun,
seconds
whereas
remaining.
and he's got tons of damage over time anyway. So I feel like the Twin-Headed Dragon is just a little bit of a safer way to deal with the TA. Even though maybe I don't know, did you guys want the Veno or you think
No,
Navi
we
was
wanted
just trying to
we
block
wanted
it?
the Jakiro is really good with Darkseer. We
Right.
wanted that combo, and honestly, I felt Jakiro was really good for EG, but they can't pick that now because they have Veno Nyx.
Yeah,
So-
obviously that's not going to happen at this point. So for Navi, Poison Nova can be a potent source of damage against them, but when you have Mech and Hand of God, it only does so much later on. So we'll see how this Veno pick develops, and if EG want to go for an aggressive tri-lane, they maybe could with Lifestealer Veno Nyx. The problem is Nyx is just not really strong in the tri-lane, so it feels like a defensive tri-lane from EG. Maybe even just a roaming Veno, or maybe they'll put him mid to slow down the TA. Like you mentioned, he's good against him. We'll see what EG do, but the Veno
10
pick is a hero that
seconds
tends to
remaining.
kind of drop off. They'll go for the Phantom Assassin. Wow, something that the Alliance has been using a lot of. Talk to me about this hero. Why would you go for PA over the myriad of other sort of more stable options here?
Oh, the Storms. That's a really good pickup by EG. But as for the Phantom Assassin, actually, he's really good if you don't have enough disables to shut him down. And right now, EG only has the like EG's picked a really similar lineup in their game versus Alliance earlier today, the game one, I think, where they had the combo of Darkseer, they had a combo of Darkseer, Nyx, Gyro, right?
Right.
But PA, like those three core heroes don't have that disable, and then the other two heroes they had didn't have anything to do like versus PA, and they didn't shut him down early because Alliance dodged really well. They dodged EG's aggressive tri-lane. So I feel Navi, it's obvious. It's really obvious what EG is gonna do here. They're gonna aggressive tri-lane with the Veno, the Nyx, and the Lifestealer. But it's gonna be interesting to see if Navi does what Alliance does, where they just send the PA top lane to dodge the aggressive tri lane from the Phantom from the Nyx.
Yeah,
but I guess
and when the Alliance did it, they even just had a dual lane there. Like, we saw just EGM protecting him by himself. It's very hard to kill the PA with Blink, but they'll find Bavost off the battle. Blink away to Puppy. Is it enough? He's eating a Gale. That's a 50% slow. It lasts for 15 seconds. It will be enough to slow this chase down. They can't get range for an Impale. That's a 3-hero telekinesis stun. Is Havost going to be able to get out of here? Open Wind's cooling down. It's a long chase. Fear not quite able to get in range. Man, Karoki, the savior for Na'Vi, preventing that first blood.
yeah, I mean, even though Havos didn't die, he's gonna have to use around 2 or 3 regen for this to get back to 4 HP. So it's still a good thing for EG.
It's
On the
probably
other hand, Beatus did use a lot of his like Venogale like got nerfed so hard.
it
So he
takes
already-
it costs so much mana now. 125 at level 1.
Yeah, so if you're versus Veno, if you can bait out the Gale at least twice, you basically the hero just becomes useless. So
Yeah, you can auto attack, do a little bit of damage with Poison Stain, but it's not enough. The Gale is what allows you to get kills in.
well, look at top. Funnick got a haste. He can actually kill Bambo here.
Oh, Bambo.
Yeah, I think Bambo's
He's already
gonna die.
taken Iron Shell. Absolutely no way out for Bambo. Oh, it's going to be Navi narrowly dodging a First Blood and then getting one of their own. Bambo dropping low, and he will salve as well. He has to know he's just dead, but he blows a salve too, and the stick charges, and still goes down. Well, it felt like he made that death hurt even more than it had to. It comes with an extra bite. Boba, I just realized we haven't actually introduced the teams. On the side of Dendi, we've got him... on the side of Dendi. On the side of Na'Vi, we've got Dendi playing the Templar Assassin towards the top lane. It's Funnick with that First Blood off to a fantastic start, handling the Batrider. On the bottom side of the map, it's Kuroki on his signature Rubik. You almost want to just put his hero, or his face on the hero's portrait the way he's been playing it, and the amount he's been playing it lately. Puppy on his Chen. And then last but not least, Havost on the kind of unusual pick, playing the Phantom Assassin. And then over on EG, Fear on the Nyx Assassin, Jo on the Lifestealer, B-Diz handling that Venomancer, and they've already dropped a bunch of wards to kind of block off the Chen's camps and Demon over towards the mid lane on that Storm Spirit. Last but not least, Bambo, who's off to a slow start, but it will hit level 2 soon, playing the Darkseer.
Basically, you can Bambo is like the definition of the opposite of Bulldog. Like Bulldog's the luckiest player in Dota, and Bambo is the unluckiest. Getting that's literally the only rune that Funnick could have gotten to kill him. Maybe probably a double damage as well, but both those 2 runes would have basically killed Bambo, and he used a flask. I thought that was pretty questionable. So this lane is basically one for Funnick, and when you have Funnick already on the Batrider, it's annoying. But when you give Funnick a good start like this, where he's bringing his bottle already.
Yeah,
This is gonna be a
and he started with Boots, so it's just off to a sensational start. Boots and Bottle, and looking to steal a ton of neutrals. If Bambo gives this up to him, oh man, this is going to be pretty crucial. Bottom lane, though, it looks like a Chen creep taking some harassment, but Funnick, how much he's already level 4. He must have gotten every single creep. Oh, that is so bad. Level 4
You can't
bad.
do that. In
Level
that
2
lane, you
Darkseer.
can't. If you're safe lane and you're versus a Batrider like that, you can't pull that side camp, even though it's like, because Batrider can just go and Firefly those camps. So Funnick was already ahead, and then Bambo basically just fed him that entire camp.
Yeah,
With the Ursus.
something you
So-
normally can do on Darkseer against bottom lane. Are we gonna have a go? No, not just yet. But normally you can just catch up by farming the neutrals, whether you're on the offensive position or defensive. But like you said, Batrider's one of the few heroes that can really punish that. So looking at our other 2 lanes, because top lane obviously a loss for EG. Dendi's farming well mid lane. Demon was pulled heavily, but it does seem like it's a tough matchup in general for the Storm, especially before he hits 6. You expect the TA to have a bit of an edge, and so far, Dendi having that edge, not an overwhelming one, but I guess the big thing is Demon's really running out of regen. He's pulled. Now bottom lane, they'll go on to Jo. He's got no rage, actually. He's only level 2. He hasn't taken a point in rage. He'll be stunned. Throw him back, and then a 2-hero impale to maybe save the day. Still alive. Pops the stick charges. Havost really wanted to dive that. Probably could have gotten the kill, but would have cost him his life for sure if he did, and in the end, decides to back off. Still,
That's the
this
problem
lane's
with-
looking good for Na'Vi.
Yeah, that's the problem with Veno. Beatus had to go heal, and that's why he wasn't there, because he used both of his Gales, and without Gale, Veno is basically a creep.
It's
Ra-
kind of
probably even worse than a range
It's
creep.
I just have to giggle when you say both of his Gales. He gets 2 spells. Meanwhile, you look at Shadow Demon, you get like 4 or 5 disruptions. Leshrac gets like 6 split earths. You know, when you factor in your passive regen and a clarity
Yeah.
or 2. For Veno, it's like 2 or 3. You're back to base.
Kodal doesn't even need anything.
Yeah, or you could be Kodal and just literally always have spells. Well, Demon is really struggling mid, so it seems like Na'Vi is winning both solo lanes. And on top, I mean, Demon is getting farm.
I mean,
And levels?
the TA versus Storm, they're gonna be even. I think like the overload hit actually goes on 2 instances. First the hit, and then the actual overload hit. So it is decent at taking down refractorily. But at level 5 is usually where, before level 5, a lot of like some solos like Brewmaster and Storm can go even versus the Templar. But as soon as 5, it gets annoying because that's when refract is like starts hitting its annoying state with 5 instances and 60 damage.
Yeah,
So
it's basically like it just gets good enough to be obnoxious at that point. It's not like it jumps in terms of the way it scales, but plus 60 damage, all of a sudden that starts to hurt. That's having a Sacred Relic for every auto attack you throw their way, as long as the refraction is online. And so Funnick's looking at a very fast Blink Dagger. In fact, he seems to be rushing it. He's bottle crowing. He's got 1,400 gold. Dendy's, I wouldn't say snowballing, but farming well enough that he certainly could. And what is EG getting in return right now, Bulba? It doesn't seem like they're getting much. They're slowing down the Chen. I suppose that's something. But now that Chen is looking to get active. They're smoked. They're headed towards top. They're leaving Havost alone, bottom lane, and he's just trusting that they think there's backup.
I mean, when they're looking
They're
to
looking
gank
at mid on Demon. He's not level 6 yet. Oh no, enough denies from Denny to potentially turn this around, but Kuroki gets clipped by an Impale. Then a Gale comes through and picks him off, and they're forced to retreat out. So
that
good
was really
reaction by
unlucky
EG.
for Crow, because the tower started attacking him and went aggro on him over the Centaur. Possibly if it wasn't aggroing him, he probably would have lived. Otherwise, Funnick even kill Bambo if he gets maybe 3 stacks on Bambo. He can kill him pretty easily.
He does.
But it looks like Rubik's gonna TP up there.
He does have 2 points in Surge, so he's opted just to, which I mean I guess you need, especially with the late starts this way. But he's level 6 now. Lasso's available. If he tries to Surge, he's gonna get lassoed. He won't even wait for it. Maybe it doesn't matter because in comes Kuroki. He's got a lift when necessary. Bambo doesn't even bother with the Surge. Now he'll try for it. The Flame Break is there. Down he'll go onto Fear. Nope, they'll back off. So they get an easy kill, and that's pretty much your blink. A 6-minute blink, maybe 7 at the rate he's farming.
Yeah, that was really good play there from Rubik, Curl. Because that's one of the reasons Navi loves running the Rubik so much, is because it's an aggressive support. You can just go to any other lane and gank it if you have a decent core hero there. Unlike another hero unlike a Kodo or something like that.
Onto Dendy mid. He's taking a decent amount of damage, but he's giving as good as he gets. He doesn't have Refraction. Demon is level 6, but just taking too much to actually go in. Dendy even detonates a trap, and his illusion is doing a lot of work. They've rotated 2 mid. Beat is just unable to keep Dendy out of lane. In fact, even with the 2 of them there, Dendy had just used Refraction. It wasn't going to be up for a long time, but they just can't feel confident to make a go.
Yep. It's gonna be a rough game for Beatus. He's gonna be so underleveled, and
there's
he's
so
already
many
the fact
heroes
that
to
it's-
catch him too.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah,
tower
and
is
he's
under
actually
attack.
he has level 2 Poison Sting, which you do need to gank Templar. So, he's not gonna have level 4 wards anytime soon. And Veno is good at stopping pushes, like you saw last game. A lot of wards to stop the push, but if you're so underleveled, it's not gonna help. So this game was just basically the worst possible scenario for EG. For that, maybe if Bambo didn't get crushed top with that because of that haste rune, it would have been different. But their tri-lane lost from the start.
And what makes matters worse for me is that Havost was against a dual lane for a good 4 minutes, at least a dual lane. For a little while it was a tri-lane, left alone for at least 3 or 4, and he's managed to farm phase boots. He's at 32 CS. He's barely been shut down at all. The Veno and Lifesteal are just unable to kill him or punish him. Now middle lane, Funix jumped in, showed off his fresh, shiny Blink Dagger, but he's in trouble. Demon able to pick him off. Good reaction from EG. Now Dendy forced to back off. Teleport gets cancelled. Instead, it looks like they'll decide to stay and farm the top lane. So
Radiant's
EG
top
is still
tower
getting
is
something
under
out of every
attack.
lane, and Funnick, he's been pretty patient with his bat. At least he was versus you guys earlier, but a little bit over-eager there and pays for it.
Yeah, and looks like Fear's just gonna stay top. Nyx needs the levels, so I think he's gonna just keep either put pressure on the top tower with Bambo or just farm. And looks like they're gonna be going on bottom, but JO's gonna be fun. And this is gonna be a rough game for JO. I think Nyx needed to snowball this game. I felt for EG to try and win late game.
Yeah, because you can't really expect your Storm to snowball against a Templar Assassin. That's a real tall order, especially without any backup.
Radiant's
And
top tower is
I mean,
under
the
attack.
Darkseer, he's probably not going to dominate that top lane versus Bat, even if he farms well, but in the end, gives up a kill. So really puts the pressure on Jo, and JO's getting zoned out of the lane almost just by this PA. There's really been no other backup now. Just spamming Dagger, going in for crits. Now they're going Bambo top lane. A blink, a lasso, and almost certain death. A haste to Dendy comes in. Is it going to be enough? It is. Well-timed lift from Kuroki, and now Dendy surges forward even farther and faster. Wants some additional kills. Fear, only 4. If he finds him, he might be able to kill him off. Puppey says, I need creeps, I need golden experience, because, you know, like I mentioned, they don't prioritize getting the Chen farm. Kind of the opposite of Alliance, where We'll see a little bit of pressure early, but then you really see Ake back off and try to catch up. Puppey's doing it, but he's doing it a lot later than what Ake normally would.
Is under attack.
Puppey's realizing that he doesn't need to farm some 9-minute mech or 10-minute mech.
Oh,
And
Jo playing with fire here bottom lane. Almost dies. If Havos got an extra crit, that would have been a kill. Now he's on the run. He's got phase boots, but a surge on a Fear could catch him out. Havos tries to juke one way, tries to juke the other. You can't juke Fear. Finds the kill. The old man, ankles not broken, at least not yet.
Yeah, that was a good play there from Fear and Bambo. Without Bambo's surge, they wouldn't have been able to kill him. But Navi's gonna split push top. So even if EG takes bottom,
Dire's top tower
this
is
death,
under attack.
okay, they got a death, but unless EG doesn't get this, if EG gets this tower, it probably been worth it, but I don't think they can actually push this in time. They don't have enough heroes to push it fast enough. Like, they don't have a lone druid or something like that.
Yeah, well, especially with a TA who has the refraction damage, it's going to be chipping away at this tower rather quickly. EG, like you said, going for the trade, but it's a slow trade. And, well, we'll see if Navi even look to defend. Maybe they'll just let the tower fall and look to defend mid, because EG is also applying pressure there, and Puppey is certainly not stopping this as a level 4 Chen with no boots, 1,000 gold, maybe just rushing and... I just want to say rushing like a naked mech or something, but we'll see if he goes for the K-boots.
Demon's looking for Puppey. But Navi do, I mean, EG actually do get to push this tower. I guess, I assume that it did take them longer than EG to push it, but I don't think Navi wanted to respond because they were afraid that the storm was going to be there too. And if you just TP in one by one, EG's heroes rely on just fighting these small little fights where they're going to be they're going to have more damage because of the Nakes and the Darkseer and the Storm.
That's pretty much what they want. And on top of that, Fear had just hit level 6 from that engagement, getting the kills. So you TP in then, that's where he comes in with Vendetta and clips you off. So I think it's a smart return or retort from Navi to just go for the trade, sit back and farm. And now Demon, almost level 9, isn't really farming that well. Look at his net worth. He's a good 1,000 gold behind Dendi. But he's got a Darkseer on his side, so he can really conserve his mana and rely on Surge in a lot of cases to get around in these fights. Let's see, at least early on. Let's see if they can find an opening bottom. Here comes your Fest Bomb. It's the Demon special. We saw
Sonic's so smart. He knows this is happening. He can tell. It's really obvious. You know why he knows? Because no one is farming top on EG's lane. And since no one is farming top, they have to be either mid or bottom. And here goes, but you still don't know where the Storm or the Nakes is, so you have to be wary of this combo. Dendi and Vos can play a bit more aggressive, but Funny is the hero they can undoubtedly kill pretty easily.
And now they see a Storm, but they don't know he's packing a payload. They may find out soon if they try to go on him. We'll see. Fear top lane is level 6. Do they have detection for him? Doesn't look like it, so not going to fight a kill on him unless they can burst him down during telekinesis, which seems rather bold. Can they do it? Doesn't appear to be the case. Actually doesn't even have to pop Vendetta. In comes Jo. Open wounds all run. Kuroki has stolen Impale, but what can he really do? He's caught out, surrounded, and then brought down. Will they chase for Dendi? That's the question. Does it look like it? Not yet. Beataz hoofing it out of there too. Funnick was smoked up, looking for a blink. And a lasso. Couldn't quite get in range, so in the end, I'm not really sure why they went on the Lifestealer, or the Nyx without having detection. There's just no way they're going to kill him before he... If he had to, he could have Vendetta away. Maybe they wanted to force it, I guess.
Yeah, that was questionable. I assume they thought they could kill him with the Templar Meld Blink and Refract, but Fear could live that. And he was playing a bit passive too, because he didn't know where Navi's heroes were.
Cyborg...
And Nyx being one of the good heroes versus Bat Rider in this case. So.
Yeah, by the way, Cyborg Matt is watching over us, so trying to keep us safe from any sorts of attacks or shenanigans. And thank you, Cyborg Matt. It's not like you have to sleep or go to work or anything. He's been literally doing this every day for the past week. And, well, it's a huge thanks, well-deserved for him, as well as everyone else who's working behind the scenes. And I'm just praying to God we don't have these issues during the qualifiers. That would be a true shame, and hopefully it doesn't come to that. So, teams starting to take more precautions, and, well, enough about that. EG, they'll sit back and just look to, I guess they'll look for some Vendetta ganks with the Infest Bombs. We just haven't really seen it be too effective due to good positioning from Funnick, like you said, and awareness as well. We'll see Fear go in, undercover of Vendetta, looking for Funnick. Can he find him? He'll hit him with Vendetta. He'll follow up with the Impale. The maximum damage done. The ult will wear off. A long zip. Demon not able to snag the kill. That reward goes to Fear, who has his arcane boots online now, and Navi forced to back off mid.
Yeah, Demon is doing really well this game. He's getting the farm he needs. His CS is lower than Dendi's, but it doesn't really matter at this stage because he has 2 kills and an assist. So he's going to be getting that Orchids relatively fast. And Orchids is really good versus Bat Rider.
It's going to be good against a lot of these
it's,
heroes.
Yeah, it's gonna have all of Navi's heroes right now, but especially the Bat Rider. If Bat Rider blinks in, you can orchid him before he gets the grip off or something like that.
Right, that can make a huge difference, and I'm just looking at a hero like Puppey right now, level 5, 720 HP. If he gets caught, he will die just to the initial zip and any sort of follow-up. A Lifestealer coming out, the pull, and then maybe even Fear coming in with a Vendetta, or even just an Impale. It's going to be very tough for Navi to deal with that. It's where Kuroki can maybe save the day if he's able to get off a timely lift, but that's about it. Otherwise, I feel like Navi, their backlines are very vulnerable to getting picked off.
Yep, and they're gonna be putting pressure mid. I do feel EG should try and this mid tower means a lot for Navi because with this mid tower, they can have a lot more control of their jungle. Once they also take bottom, and which Puppey obviously wants. 'Cause he's not as rich as he usually is with Chen, but he's gonna be able to get this mech if they do get this mid tower.
I hear an
But looking
infest.
at-
We're lurking. Demon's waiting. Funnick's gonna start with the Firefly. Here comes your zip onto Puppey. They found their target of choice. They bring him down fast. Now Demon's got to get out of there. Can he escape? It's looking to be a bit tough, but he's able to get to the high ground. Dendi decides kind of to back off. Very chaotic dispersion from Navi, but in the end they do make the call to retreat. Funnick just lurking and lurking, unable to really settle on who to kill, and in the end, Demon, he went Boots of Travel, so he's going full Hani this game, and it seems like a build that's surprisingly scary to play against.
Okay, that's okay. Interesting build.
So this
I
is
still
something
don't
we
agree
see
with
Hani
this.
do a lot for Fnatic, I guess.
I do think an earlier Orchid would be really, really strong versus Navi's heroes, but I guess he just wants to... He assumes that Navi's going to be playing 5-man Dota and he wants to split push them out.
Bambo's able to vacuum Kuroki back. They also get the tower, looking good for EG. I imagine they want to get out since Demon's a bit low on mana, but he's bottled up, he's wanded up if needed. He can look to pop it, and he's got enough that maybe they look to go. In the end, they'll back off. Bambo, mech is online, has been for a little bit, something Navi doesn't have at their disposal. Now sitting comfortably on about a 2,000 gold lead, a 2,500 experience lead. Navi are still in this one, but EG starting to claim some advantages of their own, and they have a snowball lineup. Storm Spirit, Lifestealer, these are both heroes that can snowball very hard and fast, and he's gone for Boots of Travel, which, I mean, you mentioned some of the reasons why an Orchid would be better, but if it works, it can be pretty promising, so we'll see if he can have that success. That's something that Hani's used to great effect in the past.
Yeah, I mean, the Boots of Travel does make it so Dendi or Funnick or Havos can't just split push lanes as easily, because you can just get into the Nyx, or the Nyx can get into the Storm anytime, and Fear's going to be going in the woods with Jo inside him.
He's packing a punch. Here he comes, and Festbomb is there. Havost, he's farming, but this doesn't look promising for him. Oh my goodness, it doesn't look promising. Easiest kill of EG's life. What a well-executed gank, and for Havost, looking at the map, well, he just doesn't have much vision, so it's hard to tell when EG are on the hunt. Plus, they have a Nyx, so this is sort of the price you pay for giving that hero away.
Yeah, I think EG needs Navi needs their BKBs to fight EG's lineup. I thought at the start, since the lanes went so well for Navi, this game would have been different, but Funny got an early blink, but since like the 12-minute blink he got, or 11-minute blink, he's been stagnating quite a bit. He's not farmed anything else. And I do think most Bat Riders would get the Force right now, but I do think he should also get a BKB rush on the Bat Rider. Because you want to be able to grab someone without having to worry about the Nyx, Carapace, or the Mana Burn, or the Impale, because you get him out. And BKB is really, really good versus what EG has. 'Cause most of their damage is magic.
We'll see what he goes for. I just haven't seen a Bat Rider not go for 4 staff in ages, so if it happens,
Yeah.
I'll be a bit surprised. What a play! Vacuum into a Centaur stun. Beautiful combo by Navi. They find one, but a scrappy wall back is going to drive them back. Actually, Funnick wants to chase. He's got a blink. It's cooling down in 9 seconds. Now, on to Havost. He's held in position. He's brought down quickly. Somehow, EG finding kills. Can they find enough? Funnick will fall as well. That's 2 down for the count. The wall already dispersed because it's only level 1. And as a result, they'll continue to chase. Jo, he'll kill the Centaur. Pesky that it is. And I think they thought they might dive Puppey. They'll back off, and now Fear lurks past the tower, but was spotted running over here. So he'll just ensure that there's no defense mounted. Navi forced to give that tower up. And really, I mean, that was a great play by Navi. A vacuum into a Centaur stop. Very cute, but EG are just a bit far ahead in items and levels.
Yeah, that was a bad play there from Havos to stick around. Because okay, they got that really good gank off on Beatus, but that would have basically meant that EG's time was kind of wasted in that push, since they didn't really get a kill and Navi got a kill. But the amount of burst damage that EG has with the Nyx and the Storm and the Nyx is a lot. So, and Havos is a Phantom Assassin without a BKB, so he's still vulnerable even with Blur, and that's only level 1 Blur at this stage, so it's not gonna do anything versus magic damage.
I think they're also a bit, well, I don't know if I'd call it lucky, but it's fortunate for them that it wasn't a level 2 wall, because I feel like it could have been much worse, since Navi did try to stick around for a while and fight that one out, and we'll see if that comes into play later on. It's the Vac wall, it's just, there's no ice path to follow it up, there's no big AoE stun, but it's some decent control. You can set up something like a Nyx stun, so potentially could be
Yeah, the
pretty
Nyx stun is really good. The Nyx stun is really good with the vacuum, and they're also trying to get the Gale off. I mean, a 5-man Gale is still strong even at level 1. The slow is what's annoying. So that Gale, if they get it off with the Darkseer, and okay.
Well, I apparently missed an Infest Bomb of some kind. Now Fear getting caught out. There'll be a zip in. They go on to Havos. They want to bring him down fast. The evasion is there. But I'm not sure if it's enough. Bambo, Vax as well, stolen by KuroKy. Is it going to be a turnaround? Doesn't look like it. KuroKy will be the 3rd hero picked off. Puppey also died. He was the one who got picked immediately. Then Funnick, the 2nd to fall, just north of his pal. And now EG looking really solid in game 1. They now lead by about 7,500 gold, 7,500 experience, and they're threatening a tier 2 mid. So completely missed that, but I guess Puppey just got caught by the Nyx.
Yeah, Fear is basically the MVP right now this game. He's on a support Nyx that they're trialing failed. He has his Blink Dagger, or whatever, Force Staff, and he's already like level 10.
They're gonna go in now. Dendi does get clipped by the Gale, and 2 heroes backing back into a Poison Nova. A lot of damage. Demon comes in as well. Dendi on the run. Will he be able to get out? That overload is really slowing him down, preventing him from an easy escape. He will be sent back, though. Able to get out in the end. But they lose Havost again. Navi just pressing. Seeming a little impatient this game, and paying for it as a result.
Yeah, it's contrary. I mean, they're trying to force a lot of fights when they have the better late game. I don't agree. I think they should just... Late game, they have Bat Raider and Phantom Assassin and a Templar. So, they're gonna have, I think, far better late game than what EG has. Even though EG does have the Storm Nyx combo, a late game Phantom Assassin and BKBs and just... The heroes that Navi have feel a lot better late game. But they are trying to force it in situations. And EG has such good counter-initiate with the Darkseer and the Nyx. This Nyx therapist is doing wonders in these fights. Like, he's stunning Funnick as soon as he goes in, if Funnick gets Fireflied. And that's one of the annoying things of Bat Rider versus Nyx for the Bat Rider.
Boba, I'm gonna pick your brain a bit. You've talked a lot about what Navi should be doing, which is playing defensively, waiting for mistakes from EG, abusing the fact, or taking advantage of the fact, that they have the better late game lineup, and farming those items. Things like Force Stabs, BKBs in particular. What should EG be doing? How aggressive do they need to be right now? Can they sit back and farm? Should they be going for Roche? What's the game plan if you're EG, now that you're ahead, to actually finish this game?
They should be doing whatever they're doing with what Fear's doing, just basically following his lead and going around ganking. But this might be a bit of... Do they have a strategy?
Oh, Puppey! Poor Puppey, that's one sad pup. And now a blink. Alasso catches out Jayo a bit in the bad spot. Demon is there. He'll zip in. He'll pull Havos back, but it doesn't seem like enough. He's blown all of his mana pretty much. In comes Bambo. Look for the wall. The wall is there. Catches out Boar. Gale on top of it. There was no impale, of course, but a buyback from the Lifestealer. Now Dendi on the run, able to just TP out in the nick of time. Beat me up, Scotty, Dendi says, and Scotty obliges. Still, in the end, Navi, they lose 2. They're forced to run away. They do bait, or not bait, but force a buyback out of Jo. But he's already picked up his Desolator, and now, are they really chasing this? No, they'll back off.
Yeah, Jo is actually really farmed. He had a rough start early on, but he's because of those like 6 kills he got in a row with Fear, he picked up the Deso in time. And 23-minute around Deso Armlet is really good with the Nyx. So they're not really worrying about the MKBs and stuff, because Havos right now is out of this game till he gets maybe 2 or more items. And that's the problem with Phantom Assassin. Well, he needs so many items to do well. To do as much as other heroes.
He's going for a Vlad's now, but he's still going to need a BKB, and then I feel he may just need that 1 damage item. I don't know what it'll be. It'll depend on what EG go for the rest of the way, whether it's the Basher, we've seen that before. It could be something like an MKB if we see, say, a Heaven's Halberd on Jo later on, but it'll depend. But either way, yeah, I agree. 2 items is probably what he needs at this point, especially given how far ahead EG are, and they don't... I guess the question is something you brought up in the draft, and I would ask you if it's still the case. You said it's very hard to go high ground against the bat, especially Fuddick's bat, just because breaking the base is very difficult. Has that changed for EG? And if not, what do they have to build or accomplish for that to change? How are they going to actually break the base?
It's still really hard to break the base. They don't have a Juggernaut or a Lone Druid or something that can sit there and tank, or like the Juggernaut with the healing or just heal your team up. Like Nyx is good at raging and attacking, but Funnick did pick up the Force Staff. I mean, it was either Force or BKB. He needs to get the BKB as soon as possible. This BKB is going to be important because they have BKB just for the Nyx is worth it, I think. And then he picks up the BKB, so they have two. Havost went for the Vlad, so this means that he's not going to go for the helm or anything. He just wants to be able to fight and give armor. And Vlad's is really good versus Deso, so.
Yeah, good versus that. Good versus Lifestealer in general with all the physical damage he's able to bring to the table. Fear, once again, on the hunt. This time we won't miss it, at least not if he's the one who finds the kill. Demon will lead the charge. That Tubby Storm Spirit in the front lines looking, and they're going to find the entire pack of Na'Vi heroes. And Demon says, get the hell out. They've gone in on Havost. They'll pick him off mid. A Demon able to scout things out and keep them safe. Now Dendy blinks in, has the BKB going on Fear. Fear, no way out for him. He'll go down, serving like a Lifestealer in that fight. Meanwhile, a huge cluster F on the back lines, the back, the wall, the Poison Nova all thrown out. Hilter Skelter, Kuroki brought low, Lasso absolutely useless there because our Batrider just dies immediately. EG just running away with this right now. Dendy orking it up, unable to blink away. Will there be an open wounds? He gets Fog, not able to find it. Where's the additional remnant? Dendy's gonna be able to blink out if he needs to. Oh, in the end, they don't find him. Completely juked, but in spite of that, EG, another massive team fight victory. Now they lead by 14,000 gold and 14,000 experience, and as hard as it might have been for EG to break the base, they won't have to. They've broken Na'Vi spirits in game 1, and they'll take it. They now lead this best of 3, 1-0.
Yep, the train with Fear and Jo, with the Nyx infested into the Nyx, basically won this game. Like, usually teams have gotten really good at playing versus the Nyx, but Na'Vi just, they got caught a lot in the jungle. And that was really good play there from Fear to find out where the Chen. They also caught the Phantom Assassin in one of the big camps, but all these little ganks meant a lot because that meant Jo was closer to his Deso since he usually picked up the kills, and Fear did get a lot of assist gold along with the kills.
I completely agree with you. It was Na'Vi getting caught a lot, and a combination, I feel, of good play from EG, and it did feel like Na'Vi were playing in the dark. Havost getting caught in the jungle. When he got caught, there was no wards up. It seemed like Puppey was caught by surprise. It's hard against the Nyx to have sentry wards everywhere. It's generally why you see teams tend to group up as 4 or 5 versus a Nyx, because otherwise you're liable to get sniped. But in the end, Na'Vi not able to find the safe farm. They drop game 1. It's a notch to the belt for EG, who now lead this best of 3, 1-0. Can they knock Na'Vi out of the tournament? It would be, I'm sure, a very exciting moment for them and give them a lot of momentum heading into the Western qualifiers, which do begin tomorrow, hosted by the GD Studio. One team from the West guaranteed a berth in the International 3 to join the likes of Bulba and Na'Vi there, but who's it going to be? Well, before we find that out, we got to finish up the WePlay.tv Dota 2 League. I'm LD, he's Bulba. If you enjoy either of our casting, be sure to follow us, twitter.com/liquidbulba for him and twitter.com/LDDota for me. More importantly, stay tuned, guys. Game 2 of Na'Vi versus GG coming up next.